bass practice routines. What you'll learn today is a way to dial in your tone, string attack, reduce those fret buzzes, and any of those other beginner noises you hear. So stick around for that. And if you're new to my channel, I cover bass guitar tips, bass lines for all music genres, and bass gear reviews, and much more. So subscribe, so hit that subscribe and bell button and be notified when those come out. And if you don't know me by now, I'm Donald with the bass instructor of the How to Play Bass online course at iwanttoPlayBass.com. So subscribe there also, become a free member, get your free ebook on setting up your bass as well. So let's get started. So you want that nice tone. Well, there's several things you've got to do in sequence in order to get that nice tone, and that's going to be, like I said, the string attack. You need to make sure you're attacking the strings, consistently, perfectly, and that's going to help create a nice tone as well. You won't have a weak tone, you'll have a solid tone. So the string attack adds to your tone as well, and it'll definitely help relieve all of the fret buzz noises you hear too. As long as you're hitting the string at the same time, as long as you attack the string with both hands at the same time, attack the note at the same time, then that will alleviate the fret buzzes. But one thing that I do just about every day is I'll practice without an amp. It'll help you hear all the noises that are happening without the amp, because the amp's definitely gonna ring out that note a lot more prominent than without an amp. So you hear all your fret buzzes and everything like that going on when you practice without an amp. So that's one of my practice routines that I do, is practice without an amp. And you can hear everything going on. You don't want to do this, you don't want to only practice with an amp, because you've got to be familiar with how you're going to come through the amp. So you've got to be, you can sit here and attack this string real hard because you're trying to get that note and get a perfect tone and everything, and then when you go play with an amp, it's almost scary that you're hitting it so hard. So with your compression pedal, that will help alleviate some of that. Also, it'll keep you in that range. It won't, you won't clip every note because you've been practicing without an amp and now you're playing through an amp. But you want to practice without an amp, and you want to make sure that you're attacking that note with both hands instantly and simultaneously. You don't want to be hitting the string, hitting the note, attacking the note with your left hand or your fret hand, and plucking it with your pluck hand at a different time. You don't want those two off unless you're doing hammer on. Then that's fine. But if you're not, you want it to be consistent. So you want to practice without an amp. A couple minutes a day, just 5 minutes or so, just practice. Find your favorite melody, your favorite song, and just play it without an amp just for a little bit, just to make sure you're not hearing a bunch of noises. And it'll definitely, without an amp, you're going to hear all the fret buzzes, you're going to hear everything going on a lot better. So you want to practice without an amp. And I can't say it enough, practice without an amp a few minutes a day, just so you are aware of what's happening without that amp going on. So definitely find your song, play your song without the amp, and then you can practice at night. If it's late hours at night, go ahead and practice without an amp. It's good practice routine to get into, because like I said, it helps you dial in your tone. It just helps you dial in. If you can hear that note nice and pretty without an amp, you're really going to hear it with an amp. So practice without an amp. That is today's tip, and hope you got some value out of it. If you did, help me help you. Hit that like button. Leave me a comment too. Let me know that you have tried it and it did work out, or it didn't work out, or you've got a different idea of how to get that nice tone. But there's several ways to do it. There's pedals out there to help you with that. There's just adjusting your tone knobs, adjusting your levels on your amp, on anything is going to help your tone as well. But this is one way. This is the first step. This is where I would start, is practicing without an amp. listening for all those noises that are going on and getting rid of those noises. Make sure you're just hearing the note. Just make sure that's all you're hearing is the note. You're not hearing a bunch of other noises. Some noises are all right. Some noises, some fret buzzes kind of help give that bass its growl, its grunge. It's, this low B is a hard one to alleviate all fret buzzes because it's such a thick string. The gauge it's such a big string, and it's such a low note, and it's got a little wobble to it. So it's hard to really alleviate all of the noises on this low B string. But it can be done. You can just focus on it. But a little bit of fret buzz is good. So don't be afraid of a little bit. A little bit helps give that bass, give it that traditional bass sound. It's all right. I think James Jamerson, he had a lot of it in there, and it just really it's just a natural bass sound. There's not too much in production on that bass line. It's a true just a true sound, just pure sound with some fret buzz. That's more of a pure sound. Nowadays they've got so many, like I say, so much in production affecting each tone of the instrument. You almost lose the human aspect of the instrument by all the technical stuff that they can do now. So you don't want to get rid of all of it, but if you can you're not going to get rid of all of it. When you're playing live, you're going to hear some in there, and it's going to add to it. But you want to practice to not have a bunch of that in there while you're playing. You can it's definitely going to help you. Okay, so like I said, hit that like button if you did, and I will catch you all on the flip flop in the next video. All right, bye now.